So I just finished watching Wonder Woman 1984, and I gotta be quite honest with you, not better than the first one. It's not. I don't know where to begin with this. So let me start off. This probably the funny thing about it is I'm hearing more and more that Patty Jenkins had more control on this one, and you can surely see she does. And it's not. And honestly, here's my thing, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of people complain about that third act that Warner Brothers added, and she even said, that's the only issue I had. I said, that's the only issue you had. But then I look at this film and I'm like, nah, there's some more stuff. I believe because there was new writers. Jenkins did write a little of this with Jeff Johns, so-called Jeff Johns. I don't even think Jeff Johns was extremely involved in this one as he was in the first one. I think what happened was they put his name on the credits. Jeff Johns gave him some notes. She wrote the rest of it with some other screenwriter, and they took it from there. They used some of his notes, and that was it. And I think the only notes they probably used was the Cheetah versus Wonder Woman fight. That was it, maybe. Honestly, this film was bad. Okay, so let's start off with Steve Trevor coming back. So Steve Trevor comes back through a wish, through a magical rock. And it's explained his soul came in, but not his body. Which you probably say to yourself, wow, well, that's cool. Well, that's different. Like they used somebody's vessel. But if you look into what pretty much that magical rock is used throughout the film. But everybody else who make wishes, their wish comes true. Physically. Like somebody wished for I guess I'm trying to give you an example. Something, and then it came there. It came true. And like, I wish more people would work there. And then they got like 100,000 people, like physically. You know what I'm saying? Well, you could use that, but I mean, it was just weird. Like certain things they got the physical form compared to Steve Trevor not getting his body back. Which honestly, I think that would have been better because what happened was they used some random guy. Steve Trevor took over that guy's body, and that was it, which was stupid. I just didn't understand that. If that played more into the mythos, but it didn't play into nothing. There was a scene early on in the film with Diana back at the mascara, but it meant nothing. It was her training for the games. That was it. Unless they're doing a spinoff. I guess this was like a backdoor type of pilot for that. If not pilot, but a backdoor type of thing for the film, which I'm like, okay, which that was out of place. Almost gave me a flashback to BVS. The film, and that's pretty much about Steve Trevor. I mean, Chris Pine does a good job, but again, the acting is good. The writing and dialogue is something different. He plays his character. He plays it well. But they're not going to bring him back, which honestly, I wouldn't bring him back anyway. It would have been cool. They brought him back as like a villain. That's something different. And she has to cope with defeating the love of her life. And that's how she moves on. That's something I wouldn't mind seeing. But Patty Jenkins does Patty Jenkins. Moving on from there is Christian Wiig. We'll focus on the 4. Christian Wiig, which is Cheetah. I don't understand these tropes with these type of characters. Like they always gotta be a geeky scientist at first, like Jim Carrey's Riddler, the Electro, and I'm sitting here like, what the? I mean, it doesn't work. Everyone who's tried this has failed. The closest one they've done was probably Dr. Octopus, but again, he was a genius and something tragically happened and then he turned into a monster. But he was well written to the point where you can bypass that. And again, it was well written, like he was a well written character. This is not well written. She was just honestly, if you really want my opinion, if they were going to go the route they were going to, I would have minded they just made Christian Wiig Maxwell Lord's bodyguard and she becomes Cheetah. I'd rather take that than what we got. I mean, they had a dynamic between her and Wonder Woman, which is like they never really had that. But again, it is what it is. I'd rather they just didn't do that, and I wouldn't mind if she would have been the bodyguard for Maxwell Lord. Honestly, he needed like two, and wouldn't get the thing. She wished for something randomly, like I wish to be an apex predator, like a cheetah. She becomes Cheetah, and another guy wished, for something else. You get two villains in one film, and Wonder Woman has to take both of them on, and they have good fight scenes. I'm just speculating and guessing, but I would have brought in Chris Pine for that role, though. I really would have. Christian Wiig. Speak about Maxwell or Mr. Pascal, or I like to say Mandalorian. He was good. He was having fun. He was hammering that shit up. He was enjoying himself, and you can tell. But he's another one. Just honestly, he actually was the most entertaining part of the movie. He was. He really was. He really was. Him and Chris Pine were, which is funny, the two male actors who actually feel like they were having fun. But he definitely was having a lot of fun. You could tell he was. Again, another character, and we know Maxwell Lord for the comics, and Maxwell Lord the comics is a lot more vicious and more brutal. I mean, for God's sakes, he shot Wonder Woman, I believe. So they really didn't take that interpretation very well. And a lot of people, when they saw him, they were like, okay, they're about to get serious, because we thought he about to shoot Wonder Woman. And he could have, but they didn't go that route with Maxwell Lord. And they changed him up to something like a TV personality, which is like, okay. Because Wonder Woman would have her own version of Lex Luthor. But she kind of came off, Pascal came off more like, he didn't come off as a villain. He just came off as a guy who seriously needed help with financial issues, who just got caught up. And they were trying to make him sympathetic, and you sit there like, I don't know. And maybe, again, that's a studio decision because it's Pascal. I don't know. It's weird because I really didn't like that aspect of it. I just brush it aside like whatever. Moving on. Now we talk about Wonder Woman. I didn't like her in this film. I did not. I liked her in the first one, and that was when she wasn't well developed. I don't know. It's just the writing. She came off too feminist a little bit. Not like a Captain Marvel way, but more so like she didn't need men. In the first film, it did come off as that she was very interested in men. She wanted to understand. And now she's just like, when every man says, hey, bye. You're a beautiful woman. People will holler at you, but she just dismissed them. And again, she probably like, well, she couldn't get over Steve. I mean, that's been over how many years? She could have been like a little bit more nicer. And then you see, and the problem I had with this film made men look pretty bad. Like there was a drunken guy dealt with Cheetah, that was dealt with. Men robbing a store, come to find out, oh, there was a woman involved too. And it's like, it just, I didn't like it. And there was a talk with Pascal. He's just having fun. Of course, he's scheming, but Wonder Woman comes out of nowhere and says, I don't trust him. I'm looking like, you barely know the man. You say you don't even watch TV, so how you can say you don't trust him? But I don't know. Hell, when it got to the party, I thought Pascal was going for Wonder Woman. Nah, Pascal went for Kristen Wiig, Cheetah's character, which was pretty cool. It was nice to see that dynamic, because I thought they were about to go for Wonder Woman. I was like, oh, here's going to start the jealous shit. But no, other than that, I have my issues with certain things in the thing. The characters, the story dragged, especially trying to find some Rock. Come to find out, the Rock is the Rock is no longer a Rock. It's a person. I just didn't like it. It just wasn't interesting. The fight scenes, there were good fight scenes here and there, but you barely see Wonder Woman in this whole film. she probably had a screen time of, counting the earlier parts, good 10, about 20, 30, about 30 to 40 minutes. About 30 minutes. I'll say 30 minutes screen time. Compared to the first film, I think she had about 40 to 50 minutes. She was Wonder Woman throughout the whole film. She wasn't Diana. She was Wonder Woman. So you got a lot of Wonder Woman. This film here looks like it's not. And I came from Wonder Woman. I didn't came from Diana. I don't care about Diana. Just wasn't a good film. So hopefully they are going to make Wonder Woman 3 because the HBO was done so well. And I'm like, whatever. Other than that, I got nothing else to say about the film. I expected more. I expected a whole lot more. And people was trending out like I saw Goomcast, and they were like, "Oh yeah, everybody's saying Captain Marvel was better than this film." It's about the same. I think it's about the same due to the fact that it's just it's about the same because all established actors, all good acting. But Gal Gadot is still watchable. Like, there's still a good dynamic between Gal Gadot and Chris Pine that made me watch the film. Where Captain Marvel, Brie Larson's just by herself, she was terrible. Her dynamic with Samuel Jackson didn't work for me, and it didn't work. Maybe if they do a sequel and they have her in present day with other people, it might do better. But in that film, no, I hated the '90 film. I thought that was trash. That first film, Wonder Woman, was better. And it's just, nah. Now, if you ask me, would I rather watch Captain Marvel or Wonder Woman 1984? Probably Marvel, due to the fact it's shorter, I believe. Other than that, that's it. Not because it's a better film. It's shorter. But that's my take. I'm very disappointed. And I don't know who worked on that first film. They need to get them back. And maybe rein Patty Jenkins back in and say, you can't do this. You can't do that. Just rein it back. But as always, guys, like, subscribe. Peace. Have a Johnson day. I'll see you guys in the next video.